Alright, well, welcome back, guys. Today is going to be a longer video, so if you don't want to hang around, keep scrolling. So today we're doing an end of the year inventory of what I bought this year. Kind of mixed and match some things, and we're just trying to see, in my collection of things, what was acquired this year, because we're already at the end of the year. So I did buy the new Blackstar IDX 50. Only played it a couple times so far. But I felt like it was one of those amps that I wanted to have, and just in case I want to go somewhere to someone's house and play, this would be a good amp to take along rather than the Yamaha, which I do a lot of my recording with down there. There are some new DSPs that were ordered this year. The Loomis was one of them. The Graphene was another interface that was purchased this year. So these two, the Loomis and the Graphene, and those were, and then also I think the Mateus, that was another good DSP. Hopefully I want to upgrade my interface to support MIDI, and therefore I can control them with foot controllers. Things I took away one of my foot pedals down there. It just wasn't working. I haven't figured out what's gonna flow in this area. So you have my distortion, to be playing out of there or in conjunction with my DSPs and a delay, but I haven't figured out what is really going to create a nice different tone or character. So, and since there's 500 zillion pedals, I don't really want to get into it. So yeah, don't forget about Men's Ministry. Also acquired the t-shirt. Yeah, so the Ace Frehley t-shirt's nice. It covers up my other amp that I had in the living room. Ace was a pretty unique character, definitely an icon of music. So I like that. That was a nice shirt. A big addition to my purchases was the AM4. And even though I've had it for a week or two, I haven't even plugged it in. It's one of those units that will take me a little bit of time to kind of navigate through and learn more about, considering I did have the FM3. So this is by far the most advanced piece of equipment that's housed in this unit. Sort of like my DSPs, but not so much. So end of inventory is meaning I took all of my guitars out of my closet, that's empty, and set them up in the living room. Another acquired piece of equipment was the guitar stand that had a nice shelf to it. So that took forever and a day to build, but not really, but very nice additions, which means I didn't have to have 20 guitar stands out here populating the bedroom floor with my little studio. So okay, so we have the amp, we have the FM4, we have some DSPs, we have a new shelf. What else did we acquire? Well, let's take a look here in the living room, because it's kind of scary, guys. Yeah, look at this. What the hell, dude? Stop it already. Okay, so newly acquired guitars this year are the Epiphone 53 out of Guitar Center, orange. Beautiful instrument. Me and this guitar from another purchase didn't have such a good start, but this one I found at the Orange Block Guitar Center, and it turned out to be a winner chicken dinner. Perfect intonation, pickups sound great. I did a video with this guitar already. Sounds awesome. It's heavy, but it's got unique features, like the back is different back here for sure. It's got more of a satin kind of feeling. The black Epiphone Les Paul with the EMGs, the 81 and 89, that turned out to be a real surprise. Beautiful guitar. I believe it's a 2010, so that's like 15 years old for sure. The signature guitar from Rebea, the Sterling. That's this is a really another nice unit. Very proud to own that. It's gotten some really good reviews. There will be some people that will not like this guitar, but Locking Tuners, KDH just did a review on this. Rebea sent him a red one to do a demo on it, to break it down, and he's doing a good job of it. So there are things to like and not like about it, but for me, you know, I got it at a good deal. It was a demo version. I don't know what was wrong with it. Nothing that I could tell, but such a beautiful instrument, really. I feel blessed to have it. Another purchase this year was this very rare, hard to find Fender Strat with the high glitter. I don't want to call it a burst, but it almost seems like a burst. Just a beautiful instrument. Look at that, man. Very happy to have found that unit. That was a private party. This one came out of Rancho Cucamonga. This was kind of a surprise also. Sounds really, really good. Nothing special about it. It is a 21 version, Locking Tuners. It was at a good price. It's got like a blue pearl metallic, so not bad. But I think the only thing I did here was put on the Pearloid pickguard. Online from Guitar Center was the Charvel. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to be a nice guitar also. The Floyd Rose is impeccable, just great. The neck, in fact, the neck on every guitar that I will show you today is absolutely wonderful. And that's one of the most important parts of playing a guitar, is having a good neck feeling in your hand, you know. Like the skin of a girlfriend, if you have one. You know, you want her skin to be soft, not rough like some dude who's been working 24 hours. Another purchase was this Ibanez. This is the 24, I don't know what they call it, I forgot exactly. But really nice burst, nice carve. You know, it's got the baked, you know, maple, nice maple. Locking Tuners. This is a very unique guitar because of the mod switch, which really gives you like, I think like 10 tones. Really, really nice. And then also this year was this particular Charvel. This is a Aqua Burst metallic. I dig these colors because, I mean, am I going to play them live in concert anywhere? No. But it's just the way that they look, you know, they're just, man, they're really beautiful. They stand out in a way a plain paint job just doesn't really, you know, very unique. Again, the headstock, I mean, the neck on this is really, really nice. You know, with that glitter, that one's glitter. Here's the Charvel Chameleon. You know, again, kind of changes colors from a greenish to a bronze. You know, you can see that. This is not as glittery, but still very, very tight. But it does change colors from purple to like a bronze. Beautiful guitar, beautiful sounding guitar, absolutely, you know. I'm trying not to knock these over. And then again, this was just one of my favorite Fender Strats. Nothing crazy about this one, other than, you know, I found this one at San Marcos, just upgraded it a little bit. It's got the big lettering Fender, which a lot of guys don't like, but this is a wonderful playing guitar. Added just a little bit of things like some brass saddles and a Seymour Duncan in the bridge. This thing plays wonderful. I actually bought this guitar also this year to install my Joe Satriani pickups. So this pickguard was actually sitting in a box because I didn't really have a body to put it in that could really do it justice. So I ended up buying this red Strat in Rancho Cucamonga, I believe. It's got a satin back, classic tuners, you know, spaghetti style Fender logo, wonderful rosewood neck. Again, no frets for all these necks are just wonderful. Guitar plays great, man. Anytime you want to pick up an instrument. This is one that I demoed also already. This was coming out of Moreno Valley. What nobody knew who left it behind was that was loaded with a very old version of the Super Distortion C DiMaggio. And this thing plays great too. The neck is sort of satiny. I put some tuner buttons on the top, pearlish, kind of give it a little different vibe, you know. I messed up on putting that string tree there. I need to get some wood filler to kind of mask that up, but this is also an awesome playing guitar. Newly acquired this year was the ERT guitar. Like all Chinese imports, you question whether or not where's the value, but with the roasted maple necks, this was in Rancho Cucamonga. This was very inexpensive in the store, and I was about to pass it up, you know, because it's an ERT guitar, and I'm not a big fan of the headstock. It's kind of like a beak, I don't know, you know. But after playing it, I was actually very surprised. This is a very good guitar, and it made me think, well, I think ERT, which actually charges more than Firefly for their imported guitars. This was their pickups again, where it's a really nice guitar, man. The pickups sound great. It's got a great bridge on it. And then, of course, my Warmoth guitar that has an American loaded pickguard with the S1 switch. That makes this whole guitar just uniquely different. This is a great guitar to begin with, you know, with the flame maple neck, two-piece, Warmoth, typical alder strap body. This was purchased from Reverb, but just awesome playing guitar, you know. This one was from Guitar Center, Murrieta. Yeah. There's a little story behind each guitar, which I don't want to bore you guys to death. We're just doing a little end of the year inventory. I was telling myself I was going to reduce my collection, but for some reason I retained the same amount, 27 guitars and 2 acoustics. So I didn't do myself much luck. These little stuffed cats, my grandmother made these before she passed away. She was a professional seamstress. She worked at a store that made sofas and chairs for a big manufacturer, and in her spare time she would make little things like that to sell at the senior centers. And these were in storage for a while until I rented this apartment, but you know, things that my grandmother, I have of her possessions. It's just nice because, you know, she was the matriarch of the family. So I'm very, you know, grateful to her and the things that she taught me. You know, I have her stuff like that round table, solid oak, and even this was hers. She was very proud to have that furniture. You know, solid oak. You know, those were expensive back in the day. Also acquired is this whole couch. I got it this year so when my son came to visit me, it has a pull-out thing, slides out and pushes up, turns into a big old bed. So even when my brother came here to visit me, there's a place to sleep also out here. So, and then the Tees guitar, going into imports. All I did this year to this one was upgraded the pick guard with putting on some tape on there. So it's got that carbon fiber tape, but it makes the guitar really pop, you know. One of the most inexpensive guitars. You know, the Tees logo, I'm not a big fan of that, but it's good. This guitar actually sounds good and plays really, really good. Is it, you know, I would consider it with the Locky 3, this is a good guitar regardless, you know. If it was anything less, I would have already gotten rid of it. And now we have the family of Fireflies, 5 altogether. With the newest one here, of course, I think I did a demo on this one also. Another beautiful instrument. This neck, I got to demo this for you guys. So this is, you know, the roasted flame maple neck. This thing is really stunning. Pickups sound good. You know, it just has that one little hiccup with the tremolo not being at 100% useful. It's only like at 50%. So I need to fix that. I need to get somebody to help me fix that. The other Firefly FFMN series. This is number 2 of that series. It has a non-arched top, but again, AAA flamed maple veneer. This guitar plays like butter, super nice. You can't go wrong with these guitars. I mean, for the price you're paying, and for the price that you'll buy an EVH, you can buy 2 of these for one price of an EVH. So, and they're better than an EVH in my opinion. You have full range of the Floyd Rose tremolo, where the EVH, you know, it's only forward bend. We have the purple FFM. That is just another, like, I'm always surprised what Firefly will do in their series of guitars. But I love purple, man. That guitar was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's just nice. You know, how can EVH even come close to that for less than $300? They can't, and it's way better playing than an EVH. You know, stainless steel frets, flame rose. I mean, come on, you guys got to get your act together, man. These vendors are just ripping us off. I'm sticking true to my Firefly Tele, you know, that I modded. It did come with double humbuckers, but again, I took it back to a Tele style. So it's got more of a personal thing for me here. Roasted, not flamed, but roasted neck, roasted maple neck. Beautiful piece of rosewood. You know, this one comes with the bigger headstock style than the newer ones. But this one also had a tremolo version, not a hardtail or string through body. So there are some things I can do to maybe correct that. Maybe. But I'm not going to get into it. It plays fine just the way it is. Yeah. And the Firefly LP that's hollow bodied. This was a new attempt on them. it threw a lot of people off because they were like, how do you make a hollow body Les Paul? Nobody really knew that it was possible, but they went ahead and did it anyway. So yeah, it's chambered, and the crazy thing, it's got a little arch in the back, but it's really nice. You can see that. It's got a nice flamed maple backside. You know, like your beautiful girlfriend. She's got a nice backside you can be proud of. Yeah. Nice guitar, very light, 4 pounds maybe. You don't really see that too much. And then my only made in Japan guitar of the higher series Vola instruments. These are comparable to a USA made Fender Strat, and I think in some ways much better. This one comes with Gotoh locking tuners. And you know, the craftsmanship and tone and the wiring. I did a video on this too, but excellent. This is excellent. Great deal. Got that one on reverb. You know. All right. So proud of my Firefly guitars. Yeah. I have no reason to ever get rid of those. These are definitely the ones that work for me. I love playing them. They sound great. I got rid of one of my acoustics and kept the Alvarez because I need to have one regardless. And this Alvarez is really, really nice. Easy for me to play this one. I fell in love with this one at the store. It's an electrical acoustic. Really nice back and sides with the Fishman. Oh, I think it's got their own Alvarez deal. And it's got what I thought was like, wow, look at that. It's got the nice curved armrest. This acoustic, man, is like butter. It sounds great too, so I had to keep this one for sure. The Yamaha LL16D, well, that had to go. You know, I mean, I only need a couple guitars, my goodness. And then you got to have a decent nylon string, because sometimes when you're playing the guitar, you want to have the ease of playing something very soft. So a good nylon guitar. This is a Breedlove. I was actually able to send this back to them. This was a scratch and dent. There was a little bit of a crack there. But I was able to send that back to them because the truss rod was either stuck or frozen in there. But they fixed it free of charge and sent it back to me. Crazy. I can't imagine what that cost them to do that, but you know. Also acquired is, I got this keyboard, you know. I like the sounds of a keyboard, even though I don't play the keyboard. This might end up being in the closet. But keyboards are fun, you know, because they have things. When you want to record a song, you can add background tones to your songs using a keyboard, because it's got an output stereo. You can run it into your mixer, you know. This is an old, I got this dirt cheap at Guitar Center, so you know, I just like, yeah, let me hold on to this. This is cool. It's got a few good songs in here on the demo. If you play it, it's got like a Billy Joel, but it sounds really good, the Billy Joel version. Don't go changing to try to please me. You never have to work that hard. Ooh. You know, you can kind of do stuff like that. But if anybody was to ever come over here, which nobody ever does, you know, and somebody plays piano, yeah, you can get down on this, you know. Look at the madness, guys. Fucking nuts, bro. I ended up refurbishing this desktop. Some joker sold it to me on Facebook. The motherboard was bad. I mean, it was good, but there was no audio output, so I had to buy a replacement motherboard. And also the Wi-Fi was for shit, so I fixed that. It's kind of what I used to do many years ago, building and restoring and refurbishing stuff. So that's all squared away now, pretty much. And so I just wanted to make sure that it was working and blah, blah, blah. So is it a new addition this year? Yeah, sort of. Building the cabinet for my workbench when I'm working on guitars. That was a real bonus for me. I got off my lazy ass and finally put that together. But I really needed it. Don't ask me why it took me forever and a day. But at the end of the year, you're kind of thinking about what can you do differently since you have a collection of guitars. What would be purposeful? That Black Star amp, also I got a good deal on Facebook Marketplace with that amp. So, and then last but not least, there's one case down here that I got on the Guitar Center when they were having their Christmas sale. You get a hard case. My most prized guitar is by far the Carvin. With the flamed Tiger Burst veneer on the headstock with real abalone inlay. I mean, that abalone is no joke. It's like, it's got that black glass ebony fretboard. But that guitar right here, to me, is just one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever owned. The quality of the instrument speaks for itself when I play it. Mahogany back and sides. Prime choices of wood for sure. I think even the, you see there, how they did that binding was also flamed maple. For the cap, that's a real cap. It's not like a veneer. That's the real deal right there, But this is by far my prized guitar. I've only played it a dozen times, I don't need to beat up on it. I always loved the headstock. So there you go, guys. This is the end of the year guitar update. What did I buy? What did I sell? You probably, I got just as lost as anybody else, But yeah, the big surprises for me were the hollow body Firefly, the 59 Epiphone for sure was a surprise. This Fender, what year is this? This is a 2000. This guitar also surprised me. I think I told you the story that when I found this guitar at Guitar Center in Rancho Cucamonga, it was filthy dirty, just a scrappy looking guitar, but I knew there was something about it. The back of the neck had a lot of patina, was very caramelized, and I was like, wow, I bet you this thing sounds nice. And it felt great. Back then when they used, good pieces of wood. All I did was change the pick guard really to kind of make it pop and add some new. But this thing sounds and plays great. And the back of the neck, you don't really get caramelized necked. So it's 25 years old, any guitars that are older just have that uniqueness to them. That surprised me, the Epiphone Les Paul with the 81 and 89. So the 89 EMG really makes the Les Paul series guitar really stand out and brings them back to making them sound more like a Les Paul. I wouldn't say the Charvel. Charvel, that's a very typical guitar with the Seymour Duncans. Not a surprise there about how it would sound and play. The Ibanez was definitely a surprise with the mod, not a coil tap, with all of the sounds I was able to get out of that. The only reason why this might be a surprise is because it took me forever and a day to find this guitar. That's this thing is like crazy. And this one here, the Rebea Signature. It's the only signature guitar I have. I got it this year. You know, there were things I wish they would have done better, like maybe put the electronics cavity and the tremolo cavity. I wish they would have made it flush with the body. But definitely a bigger neck than your standard Ernie Ball type Sterling guitars. So I guess Rebea's got big hands. I guess my hands have gotten a little bigger too, so who knows. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope YouTube or TikTok doesn't go, hey man, that background music, you can't have that, you're gonna get banned. So there it is, guys. That's all I have to share with you. End of the year, my collection still at 27, but down to 2 acoustics and very few things, you know, updating. So I look forward to 2026, and I'll be spending more time with the Fractal FM4, and probably not so much time with that, and back to, you know, my DSPs, which is one of those things, you know, recording. Maybe I can get in here, record some Christmas songs with the microphone. You know, I have the mics. I have everything I need for recording. It's just that recording requires a good singer. You know, I'm not a good singer. I know some good singers. I wish, you know, I could bring them over and cut some tracks. You know, let's get it going. But they don't always live near. So, but yeah. All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks for hanging out and have a blessed week.